continuing this fascinating discussion with our guest. Marcy, the Mayo Clinic is out of Medicare?
The Mayo Clinic. This is a very telling decision on behalf of Mayo. Mayo made a decision to not be a Medicare participator. So the patients that go to Mayo will now pay for their care. That's huge, but that speaks to most physicians. Most doctors just want to take care of their patients. The Medicare system is a fixed payment system. They pay every doctor precisely the same. The good guy, the bad guy. If the doctor spends a half an hour, they get paid the same as the guy that spends 5 minutes. It's the same. You go and have an operation, it's the same. So there's no incentive to compete and be the best guy. You know, with all due respect to my colleagues, I want to be better than they are. I want to be motivated to be better than they are.
And the marketplace model can recognize that.
Precisely. And so the Mayo said, we have a wonderful reputation, we're going to stand on it. I think that's wonderful. And the patients...
I love it. It makes sense.
Of course it makes sense. And in fact, we've been back to Congress. One of the things you asked me is, how can we make this happen? And my solution is very simple. First of all, we allow for the concept of private contracting. In other words, you have the privilege and the right to contract with me, your physician, or a hospital, or anybody else to take care of you. If we did that along with Medicare, Medicare could post their reimbursement. They could say, we pay $100 to have your gallbladder removed. Doctors could post their prices. The patient pays the difference. Now, the doctor who's great at what he does may think that his surgery is worth more, and you know what? He better prove it.
And the patients will pay it if
it
is.
If it is. That's key, if it is.
That's right.
At the same time, and here's the key, if the doctor has the privilege of working directly for their patients, they then have the privilege to negotiate. You know, over 10% of my patients don't pay me a nickel because I have the privilege of saying, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, their scholarship. So if a patient doesn't have the money and the Mayo Clinic is now making a living, they can say to someone, it's okay.
So that takes care of part of the access problem.
Precisely, it takes care of the whole...
And it used to be somehow like that generations ago.
It was, precisely. You know, today, before this legislation, if you go to Colorado, you can't find a primary care physician who takes Medicare.
Even today, before the changes.
Before the changes.
So it's not so hot today.
It's not so hot today. So if we wanted to increase access, we need to give the power to the patients. It really needs to be about patients' rights. You know, it is about your life, about your health. It's about everything.
So your view is that this bill would make things worse?
Worse is a gross understatement. Intolerable. Intolerable. And my concern is that it might lead to a two-tiered system. That's the last thing we want. You know, poor people deserve good care. They deserve care like anybody else. They need to be able to walk into any doctor's office and access that care. And they may be poor by someone's standards, but perhaps they want to spend all their money on their health care. That should be their right.
You mentioned in your article a bunch of deals being made to get this legislation through. The pharmacist deal, the union deal, the doctor deal, the hospital deal. Are you suggesting that a lot of people had to basically be bought off to support this thing?
Yeah.
And what we created is a very ugly looking baby.
We have a very ugly looking baby with 5 arms and 1 leg. Obviously, it can't get very far. Everybody's been bought off. In fact, even yesterday, you know, the Senate portion of the bill has a tax on this huge benefit opportunity because there are many employers who buy really big-time insurance, not insurance and benefits for their employees. Now they want to tax that, except the unions went in and said, oh, you can tax everybody else, but we want to be exempt. So now they're exempting certain unions, and now, of course, the other unions are coming in and saying, we want to be exempt. We've got Nebraska that's got the Medicaid deal. In Florida, the Medicare Advantage is not getting a cut, where our Medicare Advantage here in this state is being cut. Their patients are going to lose their doctors, even those patients who still walk into their doctor's office. Gone.
To sum up, in your view, this legislation is very expensive. Premiums will go up. taxes will go up. The theoretical goal of increasing access and decreasing costs will not happen. And there are over 100 committees and commissions that the Department of Health Services will decide what kind of care you will get. It will be financed by the government.
Precisely. It will put the government in the
What
middle of
should
the
people
exam.
do who are persuaded by your very persuasive presentation and want to impact this pending legislation? What should they do? Write their congressman?
They need to write their congresspersons. You know, in the state of California, we have Henry Waxman, we have Pete Stark, we have Nancy Pelosi. They need to write their senators, Boxer and Feinstein. You know, Feinstein said that she wouldn't vote for a bill that hurts California. This bill hurts California.
And Congressman Rohrabacher here in the greater Long Beach area.
Although he has voted against it. Thank goodness. Thank you, Congressman Rohrabacher. But you need to call your Congress people. You need to write letters to the editor.
Congresswoman Richardson.
Precisely. And tell them that indeed their careers are pending on this legislation. It's that important. This is about the lives of every American. There's nothing more important than our life and our livelihood and our ability to make decisions about how we want to spend our day.
You know, I'll be honest, this was above my pay grade, trying to understand all this stuff. I really didn't know. I agreed with the premise of getting affordability and access, but increasingly as I watched this thing go through, it looked like people were being bought off, and I just started to have a very bad feeling about this.
People were bought off, and obviously if it's a good thing, they shouldn't have needed to be bought off.
There you go. Okay, we'll be back with the remaining portions of Straight Talk after these messages.
Founded in 1976, Paulies Gourmet Coffee is Southern California's most complete gourmet coffee store. Paulies has the best tasting coffee freshly roasted every day right in the store, plus a wide selection of teas, an in-house bakery, espresso bar, patio dining, and more. We also offer Wi-Fi, free internet access for all of our customers. Our nationwide clientele agree when it comes to coffee, there's only one name to remember, Paulies, 4606 East 2nd Street, welcoming you into Belmont Shore.
Take care of those who are closest to you, from our family to yours. Marcys Jewelry, since 1932.
How do you like your chances the rest of the way?
I got no idea. But I do know that if we stay with Naples Rib Company, well, at least we won't go hungry.
Coach, what do you think about some of those questionable calls tonight?
Oh, yeah, but if you want a sound call, I'd call Naples Rib Company. You can't miss on that call.
Then Naples Rib Company is part of your game plan?
There really is nothing more motivating than a great barbecue meal at Naples Rib Company.
Victory or not, Naples Rib Company, great game plan.
Well, what a extraordinary show, and this is the last show we've done in this studio, and we'd like to make a little toast with
Absolutely.
with
This
the good
is water.
doctor.
Water is good for you. Art, let's toast 420 more wonderful shows. And a good day for America. This bill should not pass.
I'll
Mazel
drink to
tov.
that.
Absolutely.
Good health. Thank you for a wonderful show, Marcy, and thank you for your commitment to the health of your patients.
It is a pleasure.
And thank you for joining us. Join us next month. We will be in our new studios at California State University, Long Beach. Very excited about that. And thank you for joining us. Be with us next time.
Straight Talk has been brought to you by Southern California Edison, the Press Telegram, and Long Beach Magazine. And remember, Straight Talk is viewable worldwide 24/7 at straighttalktv.com.